last topic that we'll cover in section 5.4 is the general multiplication rule. And it's similar to the multiplication rule of section 5.3. You're multiplying probabilities. This is the formula. So you're still multiplying probabilities, and you do it this way when you want to find the probability of sequences of events. And I'm going to skip over this slide and start with this example, and then I'll do another one after this. So here's that first example. In this first example, there are 5 students in the class: Mike, Netta, Janita, Kristen, and Dave. And the teacher is going to select 2 people to go up to the board to work out a problem. And they want to know, what is the probability that Dave is the first person chosen and Netta is the second person chosen? So this is a sequence of events. We'll end up multiplying to answer this question. And in particular, I guess this is what we're trying to find: the probability that first we pick Dave, second the teacher picks Netta. And one way to work this out is to think about the context. So there are 5 students. First, we want to find out, what are the chances that the teacher would pick out Dave for the first student? And so there are 5 students, there's only 1 Dave, so the chances that he would pick out Dave is 1 out of 5. So let's say that the teacher picked out Dave. And so Dave has been chosen. Now the probability that Netta would be picked second is 1 out of 4. There's only 1 Netta out of the 4 students left over. So 1 out of 4. Multiply those, that's going to be 1 out of 20, which is 0.05. And what this really is the formula that we saw a few minutes ago. So this 1/5 is the probability that Dave would be picked first, and that 1/4 is the conditional probability. It's the probability that Netta would be picked second, given that Dave has already been picked first. Here's another example. Let's say that you have a box of donuts, 12 donuts. There are 2 coconut, 2 glazed, 4 sprinkled, 2 maple, and 2 chocolate. And let's say that you are going to close your eyes and randomly select 3 donuts. If you do that, what is the probability that all 3 are sprinkled? So this is the formula written out: the probability the first one is sprinkled times the probability the second one is sprinkled, given that the first one was sprinkled, times the probability the third one is sprinkled, given that the first 2 were sprinkled. So it's just a formula. It's written out for picking out 3 different donuts in this case, and there are those conditional probabilities that are used in there. And to work it out, you can use the formula, but I prefer just to think about the context of the problem. So the probability that the first donut would be sprinkled is 4 out of 12. There are 4 sprinkled, and there are 12 donuts total, so 4 twelfths. This next one, the probability that the second one is sprinkled, well, imagine that we've picked out a sprinkled donut. We took that out, and we're not going to put it back. Let's say that you ate the donut, so you can't just put it back. In fact, we should say up here, this would be without replacement. So we're picking 3 donuts, we're going to pick one, we're going to eat it and not put it back into the box. So we took out the sprinkled donut. Now the chances of us picking another sprinkled are, there's only 3 sprinkled left, and there are only 11 donuts left altogether. So 3 out of 11. So now we've picked out 2 sprinkled donuts, we ate them, we can't pick them out again, so they're gone. We want to know what are the chances that we would pick a third donut that's also sprinkled. So now there are 2 sprinkled donuts left. There are 10 donuts altogether left, so that would be 2 out of 10. So to work that out, we'll multiply all the numerators. 4 times 3 times 2, so 24. Multiply all the denominators. 12 times 11 times 10. That'll be 1320. And it comes out to about 0.018. Let's do one more question. What if we wanted to know what is the probability that the first 2 donuts are maple and the last one is sprinkled? So this is using the formula. So here's the probability. The first one is a maple. This one is the probability the second one is a maple, given that the first one was also a maple. And this is the probability that the third one is a sprinkled, given that the first 2 were maple. So that's the formula, but again, I prefer just to think about the context of the problem. First, think about what are the chances the first donut would be a maple. So going up here, there are 2 maple donuts, and there are 12 donuts. We're starting over. So the chances of picking out a maple would be 2 out of 12. The next one, the chances of picking out the second donut, and it's also a maple. We can go back up here. We've already picked out 1 maple donut. We ate it, we're not going to put it back, so it's gone. The chances of picking another maple would be 1 out of 11. 1 maple out of 11 donuts left. So 1 out of 11. And now the third one, the chances that the third one would be a sprinkled donut. Imagine our donuts up here again. We've picked out 2 donuts, and they were each maple donuts, so both maple donuts are gone. We ate them both. The chances that the third one would be a sprinkle would be 4 out of 10. There are 4 sprinkled to choose from, and there are only 10 donuts left. So 4 out of 10. So we'll work this out. Multiply all the numerators, that comes out to 8. Multiply the denominators, that's 1320 again. And it comes out to about 0.006. Alright. Next video we'll cover section 5.5.